So says Aeneas, first to speak. Latinus, looking to heaven, follows after him, stretching his right hand to the stars. Aeneas, I swear by these same powers, earth and sea and stars, and by the twin seed of Latona, the sun and moon, by two-faced Janus and the power of the lower gods, the dwelling place of the savage Dis. And may the Father who sanctifies our treaties, striking those who perjure with his thunderbolt, hear me. I touch these altars, and I call to witness this fire and these gods that stand between us. However things may fall, no day shall break this peace and pact for Italy. No force shall turn me from this pledge, not even if it overwhelms the earth, confounding all in waves and deluge, heaven into hell, as surely as this scepter. For he carried his scepter in his right hand. Never shall blossom with tender leaves as branch or shade, now that, cut from its lower stem within the forest, it has lost its mother tree, laid low its leaf and branch before the axe. For once it was a bough, but now the hand of artisans has covered it with seemly bronze, ready to be borne by Latin elders. With such words, while the chieftains watched, Aeneas and King Latinus swore their treaty. Duly they slaughter sacred victims in the fire, and tear the living entrails out of beasts, and heap the altars high with loaded platters. But the Rutulians had long since felt this duel was unequal. They are puzzled. Conflicting feelings move their hearts, more so when they can see the fighters poorly matched. And Turnus adds to their uncertainty. He paces silently, and suppliant, he worships at the shrine with lowered eyes, with wasted cheeks, and with his pale young body. And just as soon as she saw this and felt the crowd was doubtful in its heart, Juturna, his sister, threw herself into the ranks, miming the shape of Chimeres, one who had great ancestors, a father famed for valor, and was himself a most tenacious fighter. Then, skillfully, she scatters many rumors. O Latins, are you not ashamed to let this giant army stake all on one life? For are we not their match in numbers, strength? Why, take the lot of them, the Trojans and Arcadians and the Etrurians, the fate manipulated, those who hate our Turnus. Even if but half of us do battle, there are not enough of them to face us. He indeed will climb by fame up to the high ones, at whose altars he has vowed his life. He will live on men's lips, but we, our homeland lost, shall be compelled to yield before insulting masters, we who sit today as laggards on these fields. Her words only inflame the warriors more and more. A murmur glides from man to man, in both the Latin ranks and the Laurentians, who just before had hoped for rest from war and for security, are changed. They now want weapons, pray the pact can be unmade. They pity Turnus's unfair fate. Juturna then adds to this. She shows in the high heavens a sign that could confound Italian minds and lead them on with its prodigiousness, far more than any other omen could. For as the golden bird of Jove was flying across the crimson sky, pursuing fowl that flock along the shore in loud winged ranks, he swoops low on the water suddenly, and, brutal, snatches up in his hooked talons a handsome swan. This startles the Italians, when wonderful to see, all of those birds wheel right around, and as they clamor, darken the air with wings. Against their enemy they press, a compact mass across the skies, until their force and weight defeat him. He gives way and casts his prey down from his claws into the river, flees to far-off clouds. At this, indeed, the Latins greet the omen with shouts and set their hands for war. The augur, Tolumnius, becomes the first to cry. This was the portent I have often prayed for. I follow it. I recognize the gods. I am your leader. Now take up your swords, O Latins, whom this wanton foreigner has terrified by war. As if you were but helpless birds, he devastates your shores. But he too shall take flight. Across the waters he shall yet sail far off. As with one mind close tight your ranks. Defend in this encounter the king who has been stolen from your side. This said, he rushed ahead and hurled his lance against his enemies. The hissing shaft of cornel wood is shrill. It cuts the air with certainty. At once a piercing roar leaps high. A frenzy takes them all. Their hearts are hot, tumultuous. And as the lance flew off, it chanced 9 handsome brothers stood across its path. So many brothers, yet all born to the Arcadian Gylippus by his own faithful Tuscan wife. It pierces right through the ribs of one of these young men, remarkable for beauty and bright armor, along his waistline where the stitched belt rubs against the belly and the buckle gnaws against rib ends. He falls on yellow sands. But of his brothers, a courageous band, inflamed by grief, part draw their swords, part seize their shafts of flying steel and rush ahead blindly. And the Laurentians charge against them. But here again the compact ranks of Trojans pour out, together with Aguilans and Arcadians with ornamented armor. They all have just one passion, for the sword to settle this dispute. They strip the altars for firebrands. Across the skies a dense tempest of shafts, a rain of iron falls. Within that storm some of the Latins carry libation cups and braziers toward the city, and King Latinus, bearing back his beaten gods and the broken treaty, now retreats. The others draw their chariot reins, or mount their horses, riding up with naked swords.